welcome to Warblog. Today we're going to look at these coming soon games. I promise I'll get around to them. I wanted to put a big sign out warning, fat kid in sweet shop. Anyway, so this is Sheranli, which is the sort of northeastern part of Afrin province. As the Turkish forces, Operation Olive Branch, sort of move towards these places, and they're all mentioned here actually. Why does it do that all the time? It just seems to sort of do weird things. Anyway, so they take these places, Karakinli, AliBazan here, they're sort of over there, I think. Should say, oh yeah, AliBazan. Let me correct that one minute. So it's now correct now. AliBazan, which is sort of there, and that is the Meydanki Dam. That's, I should name that as well. Okay, well I've done that, so let's refresh it. I could maybe put it on that hex. I could have maybe put it on that one, and it would have been across there. That's good enough. So there's the Meydanki Dam. It's sort of the dam that's up here. It's not that way. Anyway, all the places are basically listed. The move towards Sheranli, which I think is sort of there somewhere. Or is that Sheranli there? They don't actually take these two places. They were sort of rumoured they have, but this is like, it says the NDF headquarters in Kafrjannah. I haven't looked at the news today, so I don't know whether they have. So they might have got that far. They sort of get that far, and possibly there, and they're moving towards. I mean, they're going to get there eventually. One minute. I mean, there is something actually. I've got to change things. I did actually leave my editing stuff open. No, I thought I couldn't think of any reason. I'm glad I did now, wasn't it? Okay, so I just plonked in some hills around here. These are the sort of something mountains, the Baflioun Mountains. So they're basically moving forward, taking a lot of objectives. I'm not going to play the whole game, but interesting river feature here, which could provide a sort of a flank hook, one way or another. So I don't really know. Again, it's one of these things where you sort of think, how can I do this, how can I do this, and I've no idea. The map was, I wanted to make a small map because I just didn't want, I was making a lot of games in one hit, just because there are a lot of sort of scenarios, and I sort of thought, hang on, I'll do all of them. But I made them small, although some of the other ones are actually big. But the thing is, it's a bit off, it's a bit up there. You really should at least been one further down. I mean, I suppose I could have squeezed them down, so this will. So, I haven't, so anyway, taking that. But I think the thing to do, now, the thing to do would be to do one thing at a time, and I think the thing to do would be to take these places, and then to push the front line like that, modify these things around, and then focus on the enemy rocket positions. So I've given them some rockets. I think in the other ones, they don't have any anti-tank, do they? I'm just going to give them some anti-tank. Oh, it's too late. I've started to play. 1 minute. I'm just going to do that, just so that I don't forget at the end. Okay, I've given it put some anti-tank in, but to get them, we'll have to basically start again. So I'll actually start again. You see the anti-tank there now, so we've got the anti-tank. So as I say, I think I'm going to just focus on that and then concentrate the front line, but reposition things so that we can take the rockets out. The anti-tank weren't part of my strategy. I just sort of noted that there weren't any in there. I hadn't put any in. So now the thing with the rockets is they've only got 2 range. They're quite mobile, but the Turkish Army, obviously you've got artillery, but it's a little slower. I'm sort of basing it on being towed artillery pieces, but they're quite big. But these rockets are a little more mobile, but they've only got a range of 2, so they have to be a lot closer, and hoping that that will come into sort of play some kind of strategic part of it, because we can, I mean, for example, in this situation here, we can hit their artillery, hit their rockets, but they can't hit us. Their range only goes that far, so we can use that as a sort of, you know, a screening layer as it is. We've got some more rockets here, so to get those we need to be 1, 2, 3, 4, so we'd have to move our artillery into there. There's no artillery in there, so there's artillery in there, so we need to move them there. And there's rockets there, 1, 2, 3, 4. So basically we can get all their rockets, and I think that would be the thing to sort of target first. And plus we've got air power which we can use, but they've got air defence. So I think that's going to be my plan of action, to basically focus on keeping a defensive line, because they do have irregulars that can be a problem, but we've got a fairly dense line of these Free Syrian Army motorised units. But take these ones out, and so let's see what they've got in there, because it might not be that easy. I mean, that's relatively simple. I mean, you know, I mean, in the sense that there's just the one unit, but it's still pretty tough because he's dug in, he's entrenched. But there we've got the same, but we've got lots of irregulars, so that could be a problem. So really, what to do with that? So I think what we're going to do is concentrate on putting the armoured elements and the mechanised elements here against that and that, leaving the artillery together with, well, an armour and a mechanised. So I'm going to do that. And everything else is really just going to we're going to split the artillery here, so we've got some artillery firing against that. So we don't really have a lot of artillery, but the thing is, it's sort of in range. 1, 2, and he's not got enough movement to do that. 1, 2, 3, 4. If the glitch works, I'll still be able to get it, but it doesn't matter. It's about preparation, preparatory indirect fire, I think, which is, you know, sort of how a lot of it comes down to, you know, and it's sort of, it's sort of the opposite. It's a juxtaposed lazy strategy, because you don't really do a lot, but it takes a lot of effort to not do a lot, because you sort of want to start moving everything, as I keep saying. But we've got some air power, so I think I'm going to use some air power, and it comes in staggered loads. Why is it going round and round? Okay, so we've got rockets there. Right, well let's move these units first there. Now, I mean, that's probably more than I need in that stack, but I just don't want to leave anything to chance. You know, I mean, I know enough myself to realise that I can't comprehend everything, and I'll get to the Kurd term, YPG, wherever they are, and I'll see an opportunity to take that if it's not well defended, which I can't see whilst I'm playing the Turkish player. It's a bit like actually playing against myself. It's quite surreal, really. It's quite surreal in how real it is, because I just don't have the mental capacity to consider my own moves. It's bizarre. Just drinking some water. I've got I don't know, a bout of plague at the moment, I think, brought on by a sudden and unexpected glaciation in the northern hemisphere. Okay, well, do I want to use my... Well, what have we got there? So he's going to be let's see what we've got under there. Is the village, so he's going to be like plus 20%. So that'll be 3, but he's dug is entrenched, so it's doubled, so it's going to be 6 times, so it's going to be 6.6 or 7.2, and in here, let's just reload the page so we can get everything in there, and in there we've got 8, 16, 24 plus the armoured bonus against infantry, so that's going to be sort of probably about 30 against his sort of 6 or 7. It should be good odds. I'm not going to use the artillery or anything or airstrikes. Hopefully we've got enough movement. Yep. So this is the first historic move. So moving in some Free Syrian Army units with Turkish armoured vehicle support and armoured support, well, you know, mechanised support and armoured support, mechanised infantry support with their little tanks and their little armoured cars that just make me laugh really, because they all look like they're out of the First World War. You know, little cars with huge gun turrets on top. It's just like the First World War. It's like, no, this is like, it's strange how a lot of this stuff has evolved to suit the needs. I mean, there's no one better suited for evolving their own hardware than the people on the ground. Obviously, they'd probably be better off with the sort of advanced manufacturing facilities, you know, but you know that they basically want heavy machine guns and they need armoured around them, and I think, oh, it's just bizarre, really. Oh, everything looks like it should come out of Mad Max. You know, these sort of ISIS welded vehicles, and the only thing I haven't seen so far is a welded oil tanker doing a run to get some fuel. I mean, it's just surreal. Anyway, so what did we do? We got a DE. So that was... Now, I don't know, that's sort of interesting really, because Karakinli was the first place that they took. And what were the odds on that? Well, it was only 5 to 1, which is what I sort of expected, and it was a 6.6 defence, which I sort of expected. So there's a 10% bonus for being in the village, doubled for being entrenched. So, and my expectation, my calculation was sort of near enough. I guessed about 30, so that's about right. That's what I thought. And a die roll of 1. I mean, a 5 to 1 odds could go the other way. It could be an exchange. I don't think you can get an attacker retreat, but it can go pear-shaped. I mean, it's not, you know, a given, but you know, we got a really good dice roll there, and a perfect result. And if you look at the links, I've been looking at this live map thing quite a bit, and the thing that gets me is that once the links have gone, you'll never find them again. It's really sort of fleeting in the sort of the way that works. But this was what happened. So we've sort of historically achieved what happened by taking that village. We've now got to prepare for the next one. Now again, if you remember, I mean, the Kurds might make a decision to actually retreat from that hex. They might decide that they don't want to defend that hex anymore, because obviously there's a lot of power in there, but they do have more units now. They've got the irregulars, so it's going to make them a lot tougher. The 5 to 1 odds will probably be reduced down to a 4, possibly a 3 to 1. Still not brilliant, but they could say, well, we're going to hold on to see what happens there. But, you know, the thing is, if you look at it, you know, if they do try to retreat, what have they got to retreat to? Not a lot. I mean, they could start forming up maybe a line along here, but that's about as good as it's going to get. If they retreat there, they're basically giving up the flank on this set of units. But what I'm sort of thinking, you know, we could say, okay, we're going to retreat across this river, and then form a line like that, a more condensed line, or a line with at least more a better defensive sort of posture, so to speak. But I'm not sure. So. I mean, that's just the Turkish opening move. I'm just going to have a little sip of water because I am suffering with this plague. 1 minute. I'm going to just pause while I snivel. Okay. So we decided to hold everywhere else. We've tried to move our artillery as far forward as possible. I don't think we want to move our tanks just yet. I don't think we've got anything that's vulnerable. We could possibly move into this foothill here. And I don't want to move that forward. That was a bit brassy, but you know. So that's it. I think that's my move, and I want to play it like that. It's a very slow, sort of methodical game. But we've now got the decision of what to do with the artillery units. So we're going to fire into here, see what sort of damage we can do. Haha! Look at that. Didn't affect the infantry, which is fine. We've got what we wanted. The artillery, the rockets. Not that they're very good, but this is what this is what the exchange is all about. So they've been fairly manhandled there. I don't think we've got much more movement left. Nope, out of range. And right. Oh no. So we've got one of artillery there. Oh, and one there. Oh, I see. When I did that, it was so this can't move anymore because he's only got. He's still got 3 movement. Why can't he? No, he's got 0.3 movement. Why am I seeing that here? No, and that's just anyway. So he can't move any further, but he can actually engage. And so we're going to do 2 lots of artillery fire on the rocket positions in the mountains. No effect. Possibly because they get the mountain defense bonus. No effect, but you know, a lot smaller. So, and we've got some air power left. Now 1, 2, 3, 4. So the thing is, I'm sort of thinking, well, should I spend my air units earlier on going for their air defence over here? He's only got 1 in there, and I think he's got 1 in here. Or possibly not. Where's the other one? I'm sure I had more air defence. Is it really worth going for his air defence? I can use. I've done some damage on this. I think I'm going to use my air power in here. It's well out of the way of his air defence there. Oh no, these are rockets. I'm thinking of doing something to reflect the sort of the increasing air war thing that they've got. You know, by basically putting in more. I've already got them, but I haven't really got my head around how they work. The sort of the surface-to-air rockets and the man-pads and the actual guided rocket systems. I've got the things, and I'm pretty sure they work. But actually doing it and setting up a scenario, for example, the recent Israeli attack on the Syrian air bases and the Iranian targets and the Russian targets, and just to sort of, because it seems that that's becoming a little more significant. But anyway, got 1 hit on that, and let's put in some helicopters. 1.2 on the other rocket. Oh, look at that too. So they've been damaged very slightly, but the rockets have taken. He's at 50%. I mean, he would have been doing a morale check. So these two are really. They're probably going to have to pull out of there. Now they're mobile, so I mean they're never going to be perfect again, but I think they're going to want to do everything they can to defend their indirect fire capability, because once they lose it, they're stuffed completely. So that is all of the Turkish move, because as I said, I want to keep their lines static, so nothing has moved. Press the button. Right, so now it's the Kurds' move. Now the question here is, do they want to run away? We've got lots of irregulars there. The thing is, they want to protect these rockets, I think. Now they can't fire and then run, so that's not an option. See, what I'm thinking about doing, and I'm not going to get this far in the game, but I mean, I don't know how they would get there, but moving into Mantigny, so I mean, it might be better to just move that way, or you know, this way. That way would probably be better, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't know what their movement is like through desert, because I don't want to be stuck in artillery range of anything. So if I go this way, because if I go this way, my turn will end there, but I'll be safe. But let's just test the water, so to speak. How much movement did that cost? So it's 1.1. So basically I can move probably 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and get to there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and get to there no matter what, really. And what we've got in there, these anti-tank units. Let's go this way. So I messed that up. Oh well. Okay, well, I'm going to leave them there, not because I think it's worthwhile. I want them to work for that objective. Keeping the irregulars there keeps the threat up, but I think that's going to be lost. But I think we're really going to be looking at somehow leveraging, for what it's worth, this river as a defensive line up to these hills and down there. So that's just that little section there. Well, we've got irregulars here, and these are just sort of screening forces, but we could do some things, I guess. I don't know what we can really do. But what I'm thinking of doing is actually just being a bit of a pain and just moving there, and then doing an attrition into there. And I want to move the anti-tank forward, because they're going to be sort of critical a little bit. I wonder how far they can move through the desert. There's a river there. Okay, let's split the anti-tank up into 2 directions. Let's go one this way and one up here. Let's see if we can actually try and reinforce that. So he'll be on 0 movement now. Okay. So I'll move one through the desert anyway. Okay. There are not a lot of cards to be playing with. We've got some irregulars over here. Okay, so we'll probably get another movement there. Some rockets. Okay, let's try an attrition into here. Well, let's use our rockets first, because that's what they're for. So let's see if we can commit some damage against the Turkish forces. a little bit. The headline probably ran, Turkish forces attacked by rockets. I mean, not really on form today, but something like that, obviously. But like, it just reminds me of that video where you see, well, obviously there was some inbound artillery, but it was like a long way off and didn't really hit anything, but they were still fired at by artillery, and it was still a news item, even though the artillery was about half a kilometre away. I mean, the landing, the explosions. But I mean, I guess if you're half a kilometre away, that's not far enough. Anyway, so we've done that, so we're going to do an attrition on those now. Unsuccessful. Let's do an attrition here. It's probably not worth doing these attrition rolls. Yeah, look, I mean, we're looking at 1 to 4s there, but unsuccessful. I'm going to push it forward here. Unsuccessful. They're just too tough. I mean, this is going to be not very good as well. 1 to 4, unsuccessful. And that's that. I mean, it's definitely a case of falling back, but these mountains, I think, should be a little harder for the Turkish to take. I'm just going to do one more Turkish move, and then I'm going to... Oh, actually, I'm going to leave it there. Because I want to upload... I want to keep them below 30 minutes. Occasionally, unless I really wanted to go further, because I want to load them up to the Daily Motion site. Not that it really helps much, but if I can just do that from time to time, it's all part of the game. So I hope you enjoyed that. I mean, to me, it's, you know, I really like that sort of taking it into finer detail. I mean, all we've done is just moved one attack on one hex, shift a few counters around. It's been quite entertaining for me. You know, I mean, that's what I like about these things. So, you know, if you feel that you can get more out of this than I've demonstrated, perhaps using a slightly different strategy, or you just want to see how you can take it through to fruition, taking all the objectives, you know, sign up, and you can play as many times as you want, with other people if you want, and have a blast, so to speak. Okay, I'll speak to you later. Cheerio.